Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. And this video is kind of a feel-good video. And it feels weird saying this because a lot of these guys are like 35 years old, except for LeBron. LeBron is fucking ancient, and I don't know how he keeps doing what he's doing. But I was watching a Lakers game the other night, and you know, I was thinking to myself, like, looking at the standings, I'm like, something stuck out to me. And the thing that stuck out to me was that, wow, Stephen Curry and LeBron James aren't dominating the league anymore. Even the Phoenix Suns, as good as they are, like, they're not the top seed in the West anymore. We look at the West, you got the Timberwolves, you got OKC, right? All of a sudden, there's a lot of new faces in the NBA that are at the top of their game. You know, you look at the Celtics with Jason Tatum. You look at the Bucks with Giannis and Damian Lillard. The old guard is going out. I just want to, that's the purpose of the video. Okay, the old guard is slowly but surely going away. And, you know, I think back on it. When I was in high school, I hated LeBron James. I'm just gonna let you guys know, like, nowadays, like, I'm a little more tolerant of him. I can respect his game a little more. Granted, if we do find out that he was doing steroids, that's gonna hinder my opinions on him a lot. But I was watching a Lakers game the other night, and I'm like, damn, you know, I've been watching this motherfucker do this for 20 years. Like, I'm 29, right? Like, I've been watching this motherfucker do this for 20 years. And you know, I look at Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is going to be 36 here in like 3 days or whatever, 3 or 4 days. March 14th. And I look at like James Harden's not what he used to be. Russell Westbrook is not what he used to be. Kevin Durant even is not what he used to be, right? KD is still a really good player, but, you know, like I look around the league. Klay Thompson's not what he used to be. We're seeing a shift in the old guard going away. And I know it feels weird saying that because we're looking at some of these guys and we're like, they're 35. I mean, look at DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan's 34. And while these guys still got some ball left in them, it's not a lot. You know, like that's what I'm trying to highlight in this video, because I grew up in like the early 2000s. I got to see Iverson play. I got to see like the tail end of Michael Jordan, but I was too young to really understand or appreciate it. I got to see LeBron throughout his entire career. I got to see Kobe in his prime. You know, I got to see so many, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Carmelo Anthony. You know, like, I got to see all of these guys in their prime. Tracy McGrady, right? And I'm in that situation again where it's like, I can remember watching Tim Duncan retire, right? And Tim Duncan's retirement ceremony and stuff like that, like with the Spurs and everything, it didn't hit me until I saw it on TV that I was like, wow, like, I'm never going to see Tim Duncan play basketball ever again. There was two people in the history of sports where it really hit me that I'm like, I'm never going to see them play again. Those two players were Derek Jeter for the New York Yankees and Tim Duncan for the San Antonio Spurs. Those were the two guys that I watched retire, and I was like, wow, I'm really never going to watch him play again. Kobe Bryant was also the same thing, but unfortunately, like, he passed away, and it, like, that kind of completely took over him retiring. But it was just the idea, like, those were the guys. You know, like Derek Jeter, Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant, like, those were the guys that it was like, when they retired, I was like, okay, like, I'm really never going to watch him shoot a fucking basketball again. And I feel like most of you maybe don't understand what that's like and won't understand what that's like until you see LeBron James retire, until you see Stephen Curry retire, until you see Kevin Durant retire. Because, I mean, I feel like most of us are maybe adults, but I do know I got some younger people on my channel who follow me. Some of you guys are maybe 15, 16 years old. I mean, you're not even supposed to be able to see my channel, but, you know, you can lie about your age on YouTube. Some of you who are my younger subscribers, it's not going to hit you really until you see LeBron retire, I feel. I feel like LeBron will be the one that retires that people are going to be like, damn, like, I'm never going to see him actually, like, play a basketball game again. And the cool thing about this is, like, I feel like the league is being left in great hands. Like, that's the other thing. It's like, even Joel Embiid is like 30 years old already. But, I look around the league, it's like Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jason Tatum, like, even Giannis and stuff, even though Giannis is a little older. Like, I look around the league, Ben Mathurin, Brandon Miller, all these guys are coming up, Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, like, it's cool because I guess as like an old head at this point, I'm looking around the league and I'm like, you know what? It's nice to know that the league is going to be in good hands, because LeBron carried the torch for a long fucking time. And then Steph Curry came along, and Steph Curry, like, took the league by storm. He revolutionized the way that people play the point guard position. He revolutionized the fucking league. Like, that, I don't think what people understand about Stephen Curry, like Stephen Curry, to me, personally, is the greatest point guard of all time. And I always got to be old heads are like, no, it's Magic Johnson. It's this person. It's that person. But it's very rare that you get a point guard or a player who enters the league who dominates on a level that makes everybody completely change the way that they construct their teams, the way that they play the game. Like, Stephen Curry, his 2015-2016 NBA season revolutionized the NBA. Like, suddenly, nobody gave a fuck what you could do under the basket anymore. Suddenly, everybody realized, like, it's all about three-pointers. And we're slowly transitioning back into the era of where the big man kind of matters again. I mean, if you look at the MVP candidates every year, it's Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid. If Embiid didn't get injured this year, he would have been the league MVP. But we're slowly transitioning away from that, and slowly we're transitioning back into regular basketball. And when I look at guys, like, granted, I do think some rule changes are maybe needed because the NBA talent is the greatest that it's ever been right now. But, like, for me, it just I don't know, like, this next 3 years is going to come very quickly. Like, that's the reason I'm making this, is because, like, yeah, you can look at guys like Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, Harden, Russell Westbrook. You can look at these guys and say, oh, well, they're only 35, so they got like another good 2 or 3 years left, but it's going to come very fucking quickly. That's what I'm saying. So, like, right now, while these guys are still playing at a very high level, because I think they only got maybe 1 or 2 years left of really playing at a super high efficient level, appreciate it. That's all I'm saying. Like, regardless of what you think of some of these players, just appreciate it, because in 3-4 years now, a lot of these guys are going to be gone. A lot of these guys are gonna submit their paperwork for the Hall of Fame, and they're gonna bow out of the fucking league. Especially guys like KD, Steph, and Bron. Even Harden. Like, these are, even though I despised the way Harden played the fucking game from like 2018 to like 2021, or like with his step back bullshit, I just think to myself, he's a guy that, revolutionized the way people play offense. He found an exploit in the rules, and now everybody does it. Steph Curry revolutionized the game with the three-point shot, just making it so, like, if you were going to beat the Warriors, you had to be able to jack up a shit ton of threes. You need to at least be able to compete with them, right? And even Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, they're in their 30s, So, like, a lot of the guys that you enjoy watching right now, just appreciate it while you can. Because I'm like, you know what? LeBron, even though, like, LeBalco is trending on fucking Twitter right now, and I kind of wish LeBron would at the very least come out and deny the allegations of performance-enhancing drugs. If it ever came out that he got popped for PEDs, it would, I think, ruin the NBA. Like, I don't think they'll ever let that come out, but you never know. You never know. It's just the idea, like, right now, I'm just taking this time to appreciate the game. Like, I know that sounds very, like, humble and modest and old-headish. It sounds very old to say that, but I'm just appreciating it while I can right now, because I know in the next couple years, anything can happen, especially with these guys being, like I said, Steph Curry turns 36 here in the next couple days. All it takes is one injury. All it takes is one injury, and LeBron could never play again. Steph Curry could never play again. KD could never play again. You know, like, I don't think, like, these guys are at this age where, like, one bad injury, one serious injury means, like, they could be done. I mean, look at DeMarcus Cousins, you know? He was never the same after the injuries took place. So, you know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, watch these guys while you can. You know, even if you're not fans of them, just watch them while you can. Because I'm going to tell you right now, man, even regardless of what you think about LeBron James, and even though I hold my strong opinions on LeBron James and Michael Jordan and all these other guys, it's not often you get to see, like, the arguably second greatest basketball player of all time play, or, you know, greatest basketball player of all time play. Because it's coming to an end, specifically with LeBron. That's where I'm going with this. Like, Steph Curry and LeBron are the two guys, and even KD. Like, they're the reason I keep bringing those three up is because they're three of the greatest at their positions to ever do it. You know, KD, Bron, Stephen Curry, and the thing is, right? Like, from this point going forward, at some point, all you're gonna be able to watch of them is going to be on fucking YouTube. Okay, like, so that's the main reason I'm making this video, is just, you know, to appreciate the guys we have in the league now, because it's not going to be long. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be long, and a lot of these guys are going to start hanging up their sneakers. And once they start hanging up their sneakers, you know, like, that was one thing that happened to me with a couple guys that retired, like Dwayne Wade. When Dwayne Wade retired, it's like he was a guy that once he retired, I was like, I wish I would have watched D Wade more. You know, Tracy McGrady, when Tracy McGrady retired, like, I watched a lot of Tracy McGrady, but I still wished I watched more of him. You know, Gilbert Arenas, even as much as I hate his fucking basketball takes, like, there was a lot, Allen Iverson, like, there was a lot of guys that once they retired, I was like, damn, like, I wish I watched more of him. Carmelo Anthony was another guy, like, Carmelo's a guy I wish I watched more of. So that's why I'm bringing it up, is because, like, you know what? The only people who are going to be able to tell younger generations, like, how good someone was is going to be us, you know? Like, you know, LeBron at fucking 39 years old, 40 years old, was still a top 10 player in the league. Stephen Curry at 36 years old, 37 years old, was still a top 10 player in the league. And honestly, like, Steph Curry is a guy that I think is, at least, if he's not in the top 10, he's 10th, you know? Like, he's a guy that, like, I pick every year in fantasy because of the 50, 40, 90 club. He's a guy that's, like, he can usually put up numbers like that, but, you know, it doesn't take, like, Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul's on his way out. You know, Chris Paul's only got a year or two left, if that, you know? So I know Chris Paul came out and said, like, oh, well, you know, I can't see myself retiring without a ring. Yeah, maybe as a, like, okay, maybe as a bench warmer on another team, or maybe a head coach, like Chris Paul going into, I don't know if Chris Paul would be a good head coach, because a lot of his teammates don't seem to like him after a while, but it's just the idea, like, a lot, like, even though Chris Paul said that, I do think Chris Paul's going to retire without a ring unless he becomes an assistant coach or a head coach for a team. But just realize that, like, we're on our way out. That's all. That's all I want to say, because it's going to be a sad day. You know, as much as I don't want to see LeBron and Steph Curry and KD retire, I know the day is coming. And for LeBron and Steph, I think a little closer than most of us realize. And KD. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.